Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Star Labs Confidential. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about all the big changes happening to DC movies, now that with James Gunn and Peter Safran taking charge. And with me today is fellow YouTuber, The Red Arrow. Nice to have you on the show.
Hey, I appreciate it.
So what are your thoughts on all the recent changes happening for DC movies, now with James Gunn taking the wheel?
I'm hoping it's going to be for the better. I think that the Snyderverse, or whatever you want to call it, needed to be scrapped. Well, it shouldn't have been rushed in the first place, but it was a mess, and I don't blame Zack for any of that. Of course, he had personal problems, and there was a lot of studio interference, so I blame that more than anything.
But still, I mean, what do you think with all the new movies that James Gunn announced that are coming up? Like, which one do you think will be the most interesting?
Movies, I mean, I'm probably looking forward to Brave and the Bold most, but that's just because I'm a Batman guy through and through. He's my favorite, but I'm also really interested in Swamp Thing because I just kind of believe in James Gunn, what he's got going on. They actually have a plan. They're not trying, it doesn't seem that they're trying to rush anything. And I am also a really big horror fan, so Swamp Thing opens up a lot of doors in that department. It seems that DC is not limiting themselves to just one genre or just a subgenre of one greater genre, you know. They're going horror, they're going comedy, they're going action. They don't got to be one thing, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I do like that, and makes sense given the title of this new phase or chapter, I guess, Gods and Monsters.
Yeah, I think that's a good name for it. And I mean, we've already seen a lot of creatures. Like, we saw Weasel in the Suicide Squad already, and obviously the gods. It's gonna tie in with Superman, Wonder Woman, all that. There's plenty of heroes that are gods.
I think for movies, yeah, for me, probably more interested with Brave and the Bold because, you know, I am too. I'm a Bat fan. I'm interested to see what they're gonna do with Damian Wayne as well as how much of the Bat family.
Damian is my one hang up there. I don't hate Damian. I'm just not a big Damian guy. I'd prefer it to be Dick or Tim as Robin.
But I think for the new movies that they're doing, I'm interested to see what they're going to do with Superman Legacy, because it looks like it's going to be a callback, taking things back to like where the traditional kind of Superman and everything, especially with red trunks. But I guess we'll see how that goes, since it's not going to be an origin story, thank goodness.
Yeah, we don't need any more of those for a lot of heroes.
No, we do not. And I'm curious to see about the Supergirl movie that they're going to make, because from the sounds of how the story is, it'll definitely make her different than Superman.
Oh, you're talking about how she like witnessed her entire planet get obliterated.
Yeah, and I guess for her, how she survives, she's just basically drifting on a piece of Krypton, drifting aimlessly, like there's no destination. So she's doing whatever she has to survive.
I feel like that's kind of similar to Injustice, like how Injustice did Supergirl, because like she's just kind of in an escape pod the whole time while the planet blows up, and then she winds up on Earth like later.
It might be a little bit though. So far, she's not on Earth. It's based off some kind of a recent story, but I think that might.
Oh yeah, I got you.
But I think it might be unique to see, instead of just like, you know, her doing like almost the same thing as Superman. You know, like after she lands, she meets Superman, then eventually gets settled with either the Kents or some other adoptive family, just so she has the same experience as Clark did.
Okay, I really hope we get a lot of Clark, Kara, and the Kents, because I just want to see that dynamic in live action. I think it would be great.
Yeah, I would say with what they're doing with these movies, they definitely will. And I think as far as for the new series that they're going to be making, I'm definitely interested in what they're going to do with Booster Gold and I think it was called The Lanterns.
Yep, Lanterns, that's what I'm looking forward to. I think I'm looking forward to that more than anything, honestly. It sounds awesome.
Yeah, probably Lanterns, because I have an actor friend who definitely looks like Hal Jordan. But I think for Booster Gold, it should be pretty funny, because like that episode of him in Justice League Unlimited, it was hilarious.
Booster Gold's kind of a character I'm indifferent towards. I think you got to get the balance right and not do too much, because if you push it a little too much, he can start getting irritating fast. But if you balance everything correctly and don't like step over too many boundaries, he can be great.
Yeah, I agree that, yeah, because usually those types of like characters, they can get annoying if you don't know how to handle them right.
Yeah.
And usually, like, they're better suited off as, like, you know, guest starring in some other series for a bit.
I'm wondering how that show's gonna work though, because obviously Booster Gold is a time traveler. Like, I'm sure they're going to have other heroes in the show, like maybe.
Yeah, and I think they could probably get Chris Pratt to do him, because I could see him playing a Booster Gold type of personality character. But still, like, do you think for Wonder Woman, should they still keep Gal Gadot?
I have no idea, man. I could see them keeping Gal and Momoa, but at the same time, it's like if Henry and Ben are already gone, I'm sure Ezra is going to be gone. Ray Fisher's probably definitely gone. If only 2 out of 6 of them return as like their respective characters, it might feel a little weird. It won't bother me really, but I'm afraid of the backlash that it might get from the general audience.
Yeah, 'cause I really liked what they did with Wonder Woman in the, I guess, Zack Snyder's DC lineup.
She's great. But speaking of gods and monsters again, Themyscira has a lot of them.
True. I mean, it should be interesting because, I mean, depending where this story is taking place, I mean, if this is set up, but like where Diana's already Wonder Woman and stuff, then that could work. If it's all connected, then they're probably gonna do something where like it's a set up something. But I guess we'll see more details of this will be like back in the past, probably before Wonder Woman is even born, or even with other characters that are rooted in Greek mythology. So that's our thing. Now that we got to see the Flash trailer and seeing like what's a small portion of what's in store, like what do you think of how they handled with that version of Supergirl and Michael Keaton's return as Batman?
I am very ready for this movie. Michael Keaton coming back as Batman. Hell yes. Give it to me yesterday. It kind of sucks that we've had to wait this long, but I'm just glad we're actually getting it.
Agreed, yeah. And even for Supergirl, like, I don't mind the short black-haired version, even if it's still Kara, because at least this actually makes it more believable that she's Superman's cousin, not just with the costume.
I guess, because I know Henry Cavill has black hair, but the Supergirl, she's from another Earth, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, this one is, I would say Barry went to their either timeline or alternate universe, but I mean, it is still, she did say her name was Kara.
I'm glad it's Kara.
I figured maybe because of how we have Michael Keaton as an older Batman, I figured maybe this Supergirl would have been like his daughter or something.
Oh, like Superman's daughter, you're saying?
Yeah. Plus, I mean, there is a version of Supergirl that's not blonde that has like that similar hairstyle, just with a different costume, not the usual like red and blue.
Yeah, Kara Zor-El is usually blonde, and I think literally everything I've seen her in besides this trailer, which it doesn't bother me. Hair color and stuff like that has never bothered me, but
yeah, same here. Just some people get really picky about like adaptations of certain characters.
Yeah.
But still, I would say this movie that will definitely be a big hit, and seeing different Batmans and who knows what else they'll have in store, because this is definitely like a Flashpoint-ish movie, though I guess I'm kind of glad they're not doing with the whole Thomas Wayne Batman thing. Instead, I guess just like a different Bruce Wayne, I guess, like hard to say.
Oh yeah, no, I'm glad it's Michael Keaton's Batman. That's freaking awesome. It's so freaking awesome. I am ready to see the Batmobile. Best car ever.
Oh yeah.
Love that car. It's so sexy.
Yeah, the 89 version's my favorite.
I'm ready to see what James Gunn's Batmobile looks like in Brave and the Bold.
Yeah, because now they gotta make it different from Matt Reeves' The Batman.
I don't think that's gonna be that hard to do.
That is true, because like for Matt Reeves' version, it's just like a regular like souped up race car.
Yeah, I'm glad that I'm gonna assume that in the DCU they are not going. They're still going to go grounded because Batman's a grounded character, but they're not going to go super grounded.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm curious to see what they're going to do with Robert Pattinson's version of Batman, because the sequel is definitely going to be coming out, I want to say 2025, I think.
I think it's October unless it got moved.
And so far, no, I don't think that's not going to be happening again like the last time.
I hope not.
Because I'll be very curious to see what they're going to do with the Joker, or if they're going to bring in other villains.
Oh, in the Batman too. Yeah, I'm curious of who the main villain of the movie is going to be. I'm also very curious about the Penguin show because Colin Farrell is so amazing. So good as a Penguin. Like I think he gave the best performance in the entire movie. Every time he's on screen, he stills it, commands the screen.
That's for sure, yeah, because it's amazing how, like, whenever I tell people, like, that's Colin Farrell, almost everyone's like, no way, that can't be him. And it is. He just wears a lot of prosthetic makeup and stuff, and, like, he looks like right out of the Arkham games. Like, I want to say, like, Arkham Origins, more so.
Yeah, close to it, yeah. Well, I guess other than he's got 2 eyes, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
now he's got 2 eyes.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's why I figure, like, with the hairstyle and everything he had, it just works. And it looks like for Ryan Pattinson, he will be appearing in the Penguin show, which I think is going to come out either this year or next year. Because I think so far for DC, the only thing major coming out next year is the Joker sequel.
Waller is supposed to be next year too, isn't it? And what's the animated show that James Gunn is doing?
Oh, Creature Commandos, yeah.
Creature Commandos. That and Waller is supposed to be like later next year, aren't they?
I have to double check on that because in that announcement video, James Gunn didn't say a date for Waller. I think so far the first thing that they're focusing is the Superman movie. But granted, with TV shows, they might be able to have it out sooner, but they probably want to have it organized where, like, want to start with Superman first and then, like, maybe with the others, but we'll see.
Waller doesn't really have to tie into Superman yet, so I think they could make it work, but who knows? Who knows what they have planned? I'm very curious to find out. I'm ready for 2025.
We'll see how it goes. For now, I would say our time is up. Thank you again for being a part of this podcast.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Be sure to check out the long version of this podcast within 2 weeks to the end of the month. Also, be sure to click on the thumbnails right here for more videos. So be sure to click the subscribe button and stay tuned for more content. This is BD Knight, signing off.